Well, I said that I had started working casual on the waterfront and occasionally in the warehouse industry. Casual meant that after all union members had a chance to be dispatched to work that day, if there was extra work, that people who had been identified to the union dispatcher on a list, would get any extra work. And occasionally I picked up some extra work. And the warehouse work was fine, but it was also fixed. A warehouse is in one place. And there's something in me that rebels against the routine every day, doing the same thing. But working on the waterfront, not only does the ship change and the cargo change, the light of the day changes, the weather changes, the people you work with change every single day. The combinations, the way work is dispatched to move the cargo on and off the ship and on and off the dock. And believe it or not, it's also intellectually challenging work, because what it takes, I'm not talking at this moment about container shipping, which dominates shipping today, but back in the mid to late 60s, while containerized shipping, the big metal containers moved by container cranes, are there, but they're not yet taking over the movement of cargo in the global economy. And I was there as somebody new. The job that wouldn't get filled was usually, on a given day, the dirtiest, most physically difficult job. And it could be green cow hides from the slaughterhouse that were folded and tied together and going to be transshipped for tanning and cutting up into leather goods, but on the ship they're just rancid with maggots crawling in them and stuff like that. So there's that. There's also burlap sacks of coffee beans or black pepper or cocoa beans, 100 to 150 pound sacks that usually 2 workers would handle together. And I loved it. It might have been the more physically difficult or challenging, but working in a team, that's what it was. To get the job done, to work hard and to do it well. That's unloading. That's imported cargo. Exporting, the challenge is meeting the spatial relationships of different sized cargo boxes, whatever it is, to be loaded aboard the ship in a way that the ship does not list in transit, and that the cargo does not get damaged, and that it's put in place so that it can be unloaded at the right port on the right day of the week. And so you get to think about those things if you care about the work. Some people don't care about the work. That was one of the clashes of generations when I started on the waterfront, because when I started work on the waterfront, there were still guys that had been there in 1934 and who were not just proud of the union's heritage of winning the 1934 strike, but were proud of how skilled they were in the work that they did, and that the best union men were the best workers. That was the line. And I took to that.